Cheers, guys.
before the camera even comes on. Arsenal won, Brighton won, and whoever saw that starting 11 shouldn't be surprised. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, Dal. I'm no footballing genius, and big up everybody in the chat. If you're watching on playback, make sure that you're smashing the like.
You don't have all the answers.
I don't. Hold on. Wait a minute. I know this is corny,
You don't have the. You don't have the answers, DJ.
Do you have the answer?
You don't have the answers.
Tony, do you
You
have the
don't
answer?
have the answers.
You don't
DJ.
have the answer either.
You don't have the answer.
Look, I may not have the answers, Dal. I may not have them.
But you don't.
But I get the feeling that when you start 4 CDMs in your starting 11, you're going to have trouble generating scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
And I'm glad this didn't materialize, because I thought that, we're going to have trouble generating anything in the midfield, and we did, but I was afraid that it was going to affect Ethan Winieri's performance. Ethan Winieri was the best player on that pitch today, and he only played 45 minutes.
All right, country mile.
I am just fuming at some of the decisions that were made today, some of the performances that were made today. We're going to get into it, and I know we're going to make this a short one, but I really, it's going to take me a minute to have the words. How are you?
Pretty good. I was up at 4:30 a.m. to watch the beautiful downfall of the Tottenham. So I got up and watched that, fell asleep in and out of that, and then went back to bed for a couple hours and got up and watched this absolute dross. That first half I was falling asleep. The second half wasn't what we wanted, but the first half was, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't, I don't want to, I don't blame refs. I don't want to blame the weather, but
we're not doing that. We're not doing
right. But there is something to be said about that sort of weather, trying to get anything going, trying to get, control of the ball. It's going all over the place. Players are falling, they're slipping, they're trying to take every advantage. And João Pedro, that bastard, is from the Neymar school of diving. He can go suck a big one, because that. And I'm not even saying for the penalty. Every time he touched him, the guy was falling down. He had the Band-Aid on the wrong side of his head where he got hit. He
was wearing that Band-Aid before, to be fair. He was wearing it before.
Okay, well, that shows how much I was paying attention to him. But what a twat, falling all over the pitch. And they fouled the crap out of us over and over. It really wasn't a good game of football overall, to be honest, right? From both sides. It was so scrappy. The ref, I thought, was making contentious calls. It took him 3 days to blow the whistle for the penalty. Like, he could actually see what João Pedro was doing, lifting the ball up with his toe, trying to head it. It's accidental collision, but I don't even know if they'd call that a foul in outside the box. I'm not.
They
sure.
Wouldn't. I don't think they would.
I don't think so. Yeah, because it's like you lost control and the ball was there, and our player. It's not like you put an elbow in. It wasn't really seemed that aggressive. He was just trying to tap the ball away, and he looked at it for a second, blew his whistle, and sort of reluctantly pointed to the penalty spot. Well, if it's reluctant, bro, don't call it a penalty, right? If you're reluctant about the decisions, and again, I'm not going in on the refs, but it's like it could have been I guess it could have been a penalty.
We're gonna disagree on this one. It was a pen. It was, and João Pedro. It was a smart play. Right. I agree with the Neymar comment, but it was a smart play by João Pedro. He knew what he was doing. He kicked the ball up and Saliba bit. That was it. Yeah, fair
enough, right? Because if it would have been his foot, it would have been the same thing, right?
Yeah.
If he would have tinkled it around his ankle or something, or step over it or something, and Saliba got his foot. So yeah, you're right. When I saw it, I thought it was a pen, but again, it seemed like there was sort of a delay from the ref. And again, I'm not blaming the ref. He's not at fault for us losing the ball in midfield. He's not at fault for Calafiori thinking he's playing rugby. I don't know why this manager can't just make the 3-4-3 adjustment in the formation. Like, why are we that tied to the inverted fullback? It looks like we are. We've talked about this. He's going to force that inverted fullback regardless. So again, skip the step, Arteta. Put it 3-4-3, or 3-4-2-1, right? If you want to be a little more exotic about it. But it's like Thomas Partey, like we were chatting earlier, saved us today.
Yep.
But it wasn't this beautiful thing, right? He looked like he lost a step or two today. He was sliding all over the place. And again, I'm not blaming the weather, but it just wasn't one of those type of games that is conducive to the way we play or the way we've played, free-flowing football, right?
I don't think that lineup was never going to play free-flowing football, though. I mean, look, outside of when Yeri, like there really was no fluidity. I mean, you got Trossard on the ball, touching it about 20, 25 times in the first 6 minutes, doing absolutely nothing with it. Jesus, and as much as he causes problems in the 9, he really wasn't generating anything either. I mean, the only one that was doing anything was Yeri, and really, like, he didn't generate that chance. It was a great buildup by Marino and Rice. So I think I'm just more disappointed with the lineup because you were gonna get a goal, but I never thought it was gonna be enough. We were gonna concede. I hated the way we conceded. I think after that, we were on the back foot. Like Brighton controlled that game after that. We were very lucky to get out of there with a 1-1 draw, if we're being honest with ourselves. Like,
oh yeah, the second half,
that second half. Yeah, that second half was absolutely shambolic. I mean, Calafiore. I mean, chat, let me know. Have you seen enough? Have you seen enough? I've seen enough. I do not want to see this guy start another match for this football club unless he's playing against Oxford. Unless he's against Oxford United in the cup, I don't want to see him play. He's going to because he's an import and we paid way too much fucking money for him. But Miles Lewis-Skelly does not make those mistakes. You've seen Miles Lewis-Skelly go into the final third, invert into the final third, be on the ball, be confident, and make better decisions. And you saw Calafiore go in there and just be an absolute fucking bozo.
And just tackle the player. I mean,
absolute
like I said, it was
bozo.
It was like freaking he was playing rugby, And I admire the energy. I admire the will and the determination this kid has. But you've got to bottle up this energy, and you've got to know, like, when, like the old say, like playing poker, when to hold them and when to fold them. I just, he makes these rash decisions. It's just so spur of the moment. Like it seems like he's trying to impress everyone around him. It's like, we get it, bro. You can play football, but you're making these mistakes, that are costing us. And you can see Gabrielle yelling at him. I thought the whole back line today was pretty bad, except for Partey.
Gabrielle was the only one that didn't. That Gabrielle and Partey were the only ones that I wasn't like totally pissed off about. Saliba was shaky.
And I just. Even Raya looked shaky at times too, I thought today. But
he got his bell rung in the first and he didn't look the same afterwards.
Right. And the final ball that they played there, I think it was the 75th minute to Matoma. That's 2-1. We got lucky. We got extremely lucky that we didn't get out of there with 3 points dropped. 3 points dropped, but we already pretty much can see that Liverpool are going to win. If they win tomorrow.
Congratulations to them. It's official today. It's official today. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. No to interrupt, but the thing, you're fine. But the thing that worries me was just the complete lack of just control. Like, we never seemed like we had control of that match.
Nope.
And again, with 3 defensive mids, 3 or 4, you would think there'd be a little more control out there. Again, it's just blah, right? I mean, we go through these games where we're pounding teams 5-1, 5-2, 3-0, 3-1, etc. And then now it's just we just completely drop a dud on a game that we had to win today to take advantage of the game in hand that Liverpool still have, even though you don't know if they're going to win that. You never know if they win their games in hand, but you can pretty much rest assured they will.
Well, they're when they hang up 5 on Man United tomorrow, and then go to Everton in April and get the 3 points that they didn't get because of the weather. Then it is what it is, And here's my biggest frustration. Is that we needed creativity going away to Brighton. Brighton are no mugs. We have Odegaard on the bench, and we are starting Marino, Jorginho, and Declan Rice. I will not get off of this. I'm sorry. I just won't. And then when you need a goal, you bring on Odegaard. Why don't you bring him on for the first 45, 50 minutes, get your goals, get your creativity, and then get him out of there? If you're planning on playing him, I'm assuming he's subbing him out because he's playing him against Newcastle. That's all fine and dandy.
Right.
Like I understand that, but get the fucking win in the league. We were in this league race until today. Now we're not. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done now.
Yeah.
Let's go. Can I say hi to the chat real quick?
Yeah,
can I say hi to the chat real quick? Let's say hi to the chat. Big up the chat. Big up Flawless every single time.
Flawless.
Happy birthday, Flawless again, my G. Hope it was a good one. Hope you had plenty of drinks and good times. Big up Don C every single time. He says, "What a load of shit." Yes, it was. Odegaard should have started. I agree, but I don't really know what that would have changed, given how he played when he did come on.
I think Odegaard would have provided more opportunities going forward. As much as we call him Ghost of Guard,
yeah.
I mean, Moreno just ain't it. Whenever was trying to do the most on the right when he was getting isolated, it just, go ahead.
It was bad.
I mean, it's just what you said. We need to get the points and then defend. Don't play that defensive bullshit.
Exactly right. Big up Party Paul. He says he's on a 95-minute run training for a half marathon.
Oh wow.
Y'all about to get me through it. Yo, keep that pace, Paul. Keep that pace, my friend. And thank you. Yes, we will stay safe in the storm. We got food. We got the booze. We're good. We're all good. And yes, and big up Flawless. Go and subscribe to Sarcasm City TV.
Happy birthday.
They are in the link. They're linked in the description of every video, and they are on the featured channels page of TJ Warren TV. And big up the chat. If you guys are watching on playback, comment, like, share, subscribe, do all of that, and dance on me and Dal's graves because we are just fuming right now. I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? I'm not fuming. I'm really not. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in this because you've pretty much all but guaranteed now that we're depending on cup competitions to get a trophy now. We're not winning the Champions League. We're going to need to go and beat Man United. We're going to need to go and beat Newcastle home and away. I mean, it's not looking good. And we're going to need to do it with 3 CDMs apparently. And he had other options too, by the way. He could have played Winieri in the 10 and he could have played Martinelli on the right to start that out.
Or he could, I mean, what happened to Kai Havertz? I thought he was a $65 million German king.
He's a $65 million disease bag.
Injured?
Apparently he's sick.
Oh, he's sick still. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, right. He could have played Martinelli in the middle, Jesus on the right, Trossard on the left. I mean, there's these combinations that we envision in our head that we think they can work, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think anything we could have done today in the attacking 3, any combination would have gotten us through today. We couldn't trap the ball. And I say again, I'm not blaming the weather, right? But that plays a part into it.
That's the third time you said you haven't blamed the weather and you're blaming the weather.
Because I've watched this team, bro, for 26 years.
I know.
Squad when we play in the rain, right? It used to be the joke. Oh shit, it's raining. Arsenal are going to put out a stinker today. And again, today seemed to be true. And I think Brighton came out there with the intention just to put it on us today. I mean, I haven't looked at the foul count or anything, but I mean, there were yellow cards flying all over the second half. And now I'm not sure which players are going to be out for next week. Are we in another yellow card overload? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I was playing rugby. He wasn't even playing football today. He had some good, passing combinations with Trossard a little bit in the second half, for a few minutes that amounted to absolutely nothing. This team really has no attacking end product. It looks okay going forward. It looks okay in the box at times, right? We're crossing our fingers that Jesus can get a foot on one or Martinelli, but those chances were very few and far between today. Brighton weren't going to lose. They were there for the draw or the win, and they physically put it on us. Their manager, I can never pronounce his name right, but he says, just get in their face and knock the ball off them. How many times did they knock our player down? Just take the ball. And Anthony Taylor was right. They weren't fouls. As much as I want him to blow the whistle, I mean, they took it off Trossard. They took it off Martinelli. Thomas Partey's pass to Martinelli towards the end where he's got 2 guys on him. Really? Have some vision. Boot it out.
Yep.
clear the ball. It's just we put ourselves, I think, especially in the last 20 minutes of that game, we put ourselves so much under the cosh, and it was our own fault. We couldn't turn. We're slipping and sliding because the grass was an absolute mud pit today. But again, it was a mud pit for Brighton too.
Well,
Right? That's the thing.
yeah, well, I just don't want to use it as an excuse. It's just I don't think it would have. I don't think the weather really would have mattered, just because and Don C puts it perfectly here. When Ethan came on, there was no threat. Do we even have any shot? Do we have any shots on target, like good shots on target? I only remember one P roller from Declan Rice, and that's it. Like, we would get in the box, but there would be no end product whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, and it's just. This is what's so frustrating about this club, is that sometimes it's Jekyll and Hyde. Martin Odegaard has had zero consistency this season after coming back from injury. Zero. You need your captain to come on and do a job in the last 30 minutes of a match, and he can't do anything. Martinelli
against Crystal Palace, but that was weeks ago now.
Dude, yeah, well, no, I mean, in Crystal Palace are a completely different side than this. I mean, I rate Brighton a lot higher than Crystal Palace. Hold that, Chelsea, you absolute frauds. I cannot believe we were saying that these guys were in a title race. Anyway, I'll never do that again. But it's one of those things where Brighton knew what they were doing, and we didn't have any other ideas. Go and look at how many times in the second half we were just spamming crosses from the right side of the box, because Martinelli didn't know what to do. Odegaard didn't know what to do. Zero penetration. And when you're doing that with a striker that's how tall is Jesus? 5'8"? Like, this guy is not going to get on a header against a tall back line. Like, what is the point?
Right.
Well, I was literally yelling at the screen. I was banging on the keyboard to the Gooner Lounge chat. I was freaking like, what is this guy gonna do if you're spamming headers in and he has three fullbacks and center backs behind him? Like, you're not gonna get anything done. Go to the outside, spam a low cross, and if you're gonna try to do that bullshit. Like, I'm just no ideas, man. No ideas.
Right. And Martinelli's completely incapable of doing that right now. You know, that's why I've been yelling, like, just put him. It's about, we're looking at Martinelli now almost like Kai. You got to put him up front just to get him out of the way.
Right.
I hate seeing that because I love the kid to death. Right. And I know that if he was on a decent team, let's say like someone like Inter or et cetera, he would be like cooking, you know? I just think that he's just been found out. And again, look how far back they had to play him coming to the halfway line, right? He's trying to receive the ball at the halfway line with the left back on him and this in the center mid. And Thomas Partey plays the ball right to his feet. You know, I don't get why he's not further up the pitch. Like, how much help is there? Because I thought at times Declan Rice was too central. And like you said, Odegaard was missing because he was too far up the pitch in the second half. He should have been coming back further to receive that ball so Martinelli can get some more space.
Yeah.
You know, just the whole thing was just a shit show today. I don't think anyone was really on their P's and Q's. And I think Brighton in the end wanted it more than us. Big up, Rossi.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Big up, Rossi. 1 second.
You should have been there listening to my life lessons. It would have been better for you than watching that shit.
Don Hussam in the building.
Yeah, Don Hussam already in my WhatsApp. I'll be live with Don Hussam at 11 p.m. UK time to take my fucking lashings because this club doesn't take any fucking thing seriously. Yeah, do not renew this guy's contract. Well, we already did. Oh yeah, and by the way, like when you're looking at this lineup today, I wanna ask you a question, Del.
Sure.
Does this lineup give you any indication that he is like worried about his job? Worried about any sort of job security? Worried about any sort of results in the league? Like, no. This was a hit and hope. This was a hit and hope to me today, man. I'm going to keep going back to it because it needs to be said. Like, we had enough on our bench. We have Miles Lewis-Skelly on our bench, who I think is a better left back. You had Nwaneri, who you could have played in the 10, even though he played on the right. Odegaard could have started that match. Like these are missed opportunities when we needed 3 points. I mean, we can't obviously we need to rotate the squad and we can't drop 3 points. But Brighton away is not a place for you to be rotating the lineup. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just so pissed off about this, man. Like, and look, like I understand injuries happen, sickness happens, but if we're gonna be honest with ourselves, does Kai Havertz do any better against Brighton?
No, and that's the point I wanted to get to too. It would have been a different result with him up front today. He would have been slipping all over like Bambi on ice. And when you do look at that midfield, it's slow. Moreno, right? Jorginho, Rice. I mean, as much as Rice was at the end, he was huffing, trying to get back to defend. You know, just like, and I said he's leggy and he comes back from a broken toe. Another player that I still don't think is 100% fit. You know, and with that midfield, like we're expecting some sort of zippiness in the passing, and it just doesn't happen. They run out of ideas. There's only so many, times Moreno can stop the ball and do like 8 steps and a pirouette to turn.
Yeah,
and I just, it's like, are we trying to slow things down to score this, this real clinical technical goal, right? Where we pass, and then we dink it in with our heel in the 6-yard box or something. Right, we're trying to score this perfect goal. There's even times Odegaard today, if he just would have taken the bull by the horns, dribbled past his defender and maybe another one, and shoot at far post. I mean, we're just not taking any risks anymore in the attack. Big up, Connor. And that's what I saw today was just a lack of complete risk taking.
Yeah,
and it was just conservative. It was slow. And
we didn't have anybody to do it though. That's the thing. It's just
because our guy to do it was played way out right.
These people like these guys are allergic to passing vertically. We have three CDMs out there that cannot break lines. And the one CDM that can break lines is playing fucking right back. Anyway. Hi Connor. Go ahead. The floor is yours, my friend. Thank you for joining.
Big up to you, fellas. Big up to everyone in the chat.
Yep.
Just like, fuck me. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, fellas. And it's another reason today. Do you know what? I watched, I sat down this morning, I had an early morning, I watched Tottenham Newcastle, right? And that first half, Newcastle, the football, do you know what? A lot of people do sit down and, they say, no, not all football's pretty, right? Not all football is fantastic. And obviously, look, we are higher in the table than Newcastle. Listen, they're what, 6th, and obviously we're now sitting 2nd. But I watched their football, and if Eddie Howe can get a team like Newcastle playing like flipping Barcelona, why do we have to play such shit football with probably better players than them? I think the only thing that I could say that counts a better team than them, they've probably got a better midfield than us. I love Guimaraes. Guimaraes day for them was fantastic. He was so good. The point I'm trying to make is, right, our football's shit. And we've said this for weeks anyway. We've said this for absolute weeks. Our football is shit. It is shocking. We deserve to lose today, by the way. We were awful. Brighton turned up. They wanted the 3 points. Yep. It looked like we couldn't give a shit. Why was Odegaard playing? I thought he was sick. I thought he wasn't training all week. Oh, but you can bring him off the bench. But even though he hasn't trained all week, you can bring him off. And this whole excuse about, Ranieri's on a yellow, we have to bring him off. I mean, do me a favour. How many times have we kept on players who are on yellow cards? I'm sure. Listen, I know he's 17, but I think he's pretty smart to think, do you know what? I'm not going to get red carded. I'm going to play smart. Why take off your only creativity on the pitch? He's 17. I feel like we're 5 years ago when we were relying on fucking 18-year-old Bukayo Saka. It's so poor. It's awful. No one was at the races today. Everyone was poor. The goal was good. Don't get me wrong. The goal was really good. Mikel Moreno's pass, the assist was very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But apart from that, there was nothing else in the game that made it look like we gave a shit. Jorginho's washed. He's done now. Yep. We shouldn't have kept him for another season. He offers now. He now offers. I'm done with this whole praising him for long balls because he doesn't even offer that now. He's shocking. He's a retiree. I can't wait for him to leave at the end of the season. He's done now. So many players in this team. Gabriel and Saliba. Listen, everyone's going to talk about the penalty. Letter of the law, that was a penalty. In my eyes, that was extremely harsh. But it is what it is. It's the letter of the law. It's football. What can you do about it? It's the Premier League rules. It is what it is. Saliba, in my opinion, didn't intentionally mean to do it. He didn't intentionally mean to go for João Pedro's head. But letter of the law, it's penalty. What can you do? It was a well-taken penalty. This game, Brighton had so many great opportunities to win this game, to get the second goal, or even before they scored the penalty. There's so many opportunities to get the second. But, fellas, we didn't deserve to win today. It's as simple as that. And this is now down to another reason why we're not going to win a league title. We need better than Mikel Arteta. It's as simple as that. So funny how when we concede the goal, still the micromanaging he does as soon as we concede. Fuck, do this, do this, do this, do this. You could have done that before, Mikel, when we actually maybe should have given a shit when we were 1-0 up. This manager needs to go come end of season. When people start waking up and realising, oh, but it was a draw. We got 1 point today. It's all right. Wake up and realise that we need a change at this football club. The players look bored. The fans are bored. I don't care if AFTV are there praising Arsenal's football.
Right.
You know, we got the point, blah, blah, blah.
I can't wait to see all the 7s and 6s that Robbie gives
that's
them.
the thing, but I guarantee you they're in the stands bored. There's no way they're sat in them away stands. And fair play to them, they go to the away games. I praise any away fan that makes the long trip to these grounds, to go to these grounds and watch Arsenal. It must take a lot of money to go. So I do respect that. But there's no way they can tell me they sit in that away end and they're entertained. They're not. And, you know, we always question why our fan base and why our home support is so poor. It's because it's boring, gentlemen. It is horribly boring. And teams have figured us out. We're not going to win the league this season. We're now having to scrape in second, third, and fourth as we do every single season. We have regressed this season, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me ask you the last time Gabriel scored from a corner.
Well, yeah. Have our corners now been figured out as well? You know?
It's been about 5 weeks.
We're out here. This fan base is so reactionary, right? Don't get me wrong. Nicholas Hoyvier has been a blessing in disguise for us in the last couple this season and last season, right, with our set pieces. But we're out here doing murals for this guy, like he's won us league titles because of it.
That's right.
Murals, people, murals outside the stadium. What has happened to this club? What has happened to this club? Real talk, and I can't wait for people to wake up. And don't get me wrong, I want to win the League Cup. I want to win the FA Cup. I want to win these trophies, but it's not good enough. Sick and tired. Look, TJ, that was me the whole game. That was me the whole game, brother. I was bored. I'm bored every single week. And thank God I'm going out for a meal Tuesday night because I can't even be asked to watch the semi-final first leg. I can't be asked. Seriously. I can't be asked. You know, it's so boring. Today, no one gets a good rating. The only one who really gives a shit is always the academy kids. It's always the academy kids that give a shit. That's why Saka is one of the best. No, he's not one. He is the best player at this club. He is, hands down. I'm sorry. These academy kids are the ones that give a shit because they know what it means to wear the badge. These players couldn't give one. They couldn't. They really couldn't. When it comes to that moment, stepping up to the plate, having to win a game, the manager doesn't step up and the players don't step up. And that is always what will happen under Mikel Arteta. We have been in this same seat for years and years and years and years. And it's not going to stop. But for some reason, for a lot of fans, it's going to get better. Right now, we're regressing. The stage we're at right now compared to last season, we were better last season than we are now. We have regressed. But if we finish second and win no trophies, let's go again next season. That's what I'm hearing. That is the levels we're at, people. And it's not going to change for me. Very poor today. Ranieri, in my opinion, was the only shining light. To be fair to Mikel Marino, he was probably the best out of the midfield. But what he had to work with was pretty shocking. Partey at right back needs to be scrapped now. I swear to God, I don't care if he played there for Atletico Madrid. He was
one of our best defenders today too, which is even more of an indictment.
And we've got our two main standalone centre backs who are meant to be the best in the league, who I still do believe are the best in the league. Not even performance today. Heads are off. Not paying attention. Calafiori as well today. Don't know what's happened to him. I don't think he was that good either. You know, constantly ending up on the floor, missing headers. He was awful on set pieces today. You're meant to be one of our defenders winning headers. You're out here sending it into row Z. You know, we're meant to be the best at set pieces at the moment. We're looking like relegation form set pieces.
Yeah, right. And that's what I was saying. I know we're scoring goals from corners, but we were literally riding the wave of Gabriel headers. I mean, we were for weeks. And then we've said it. Once those headers start to dry up and the balls aren't being, crossed proficiently as they are because Saka was doing a lot of that. Now he's out, right? So it's like we lose one of our weapons automatically, right? And none of that was working today. I mean, it's kind of like I feel like, oh, our corner system's been found out too. Liverpool have been trying to copy it. All Brighton had to do was stand there and just tonk it out of the air.
Well,
I
it's
don't see it as a weapon anymore. Is my point.
the only time. Well, I see it as a weapon, but I think we have certain plays that are being figured out. This waiting outside the box and then rushing in has been figured out. The two set pieces that Declan Rice threw in there today, they were close, but they ended up they would have been both offside if somebody would have gotten a foot on them anyway. So we really have to look at ourselves. I mean, set pieces have not been a problem for us this season.
Until they are.
I made this joke before.
They are, right?
I made this joke before, and I'll make it again. We need an open play coach. The manager. Yeah. Oh, you mean the manager? Yes. And Connor, you're talking about we talked about this before, but we have 18 people here, so I'm going to talk about it one more time. The cult of personality around this manager and around this ownership group. People are okay with this.
Yep.
We have propaganda channels out there that get media access to the stadium that are going to continue to gas up this mediocrity. The Cronkies need to get fucking serious, and they need to get serious quick. Otherwise, I'm going to get a lot more vocal about Stan and Josh. Arteta needs to go. And here's one second, Dal. 1 second, I swear. I'll be done in a second.
No, you're fine.
I'm just beyond disappointed with the lack of standards in 75 to 80% of our fan base that accept this bullshit when we have potentially generational talent, a generational talent in Saka, a very good talent in Declan Rice, and Saliba, and Gabriel. Saliba going to Real Madrid. Go ahead and put that down now. We have great fucking players on this team, but we do not utilize them or we run them into the ground. It's the manager's fault, people. Stop flip-flopping on it. You can blame him directly for injuries 5 to 6 times over the last 3 to 4 fucking years he's been in charge. And I'm not going to call anybody out here today, but if you're flip-flopping about Mikel Arteta, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
Facts.
Stop doing this. And stop doing this and saying that you have standards. It's time, guys. It's time to let him go.
Yep.
Because he was totally fine with the draw today. He was totally fine with it. Gabriel standing on the side of the pitch, 95th minute, just sitting there, not throwing the ball and go for it. Yeah. We needed 3 points. Congratulations, Liverpool. I'm done.
TJ, and people will call you now reactionary.
They'll call me the American League Gunner. I don't give a fuck.
The funny thing is, TJ, it's not reactionary. It's anger and it's being upset of how many times we've had to do this. I'm not here saying we need to win every single. Listen, of course I want to win every single game. That would be perfect. We'd be so happy, wouldn't we? We'd be winning everything. But teams are going to lose games. But it's in the manner we lose games, and not just the manner. How many times we've done it in this manner? It's like some fans forget what happens with Arsenal. It's like when it's in the past,
it's a whole new day.
But it's like, us, you, me, Dow, everyone in the chat here, big up to everyone. We're that side of the fan base that remembers. We don't forget. We know what this team's like. We know what they pull off. We know what they can do and how they can lose points and drop points. Mm-hmm. I go back to my point today. And whenever we do like a Goon Lounge or another show like this on your channel, TJ, I sent it to the Goon Lounge group chat the other day. The signings that Mikel Arteta has made on about 800 million. He actually has in each position. Yeah. The dross that he has actually bought and what we've led to today. We are still here, the 5th, 6th year in the process, and we're still asking for more players. It's disgraceful. It is honestly disgraceful. The Cronkies, I know they're rich. We all know they're absolutely loaded. They are set for generations of Cronkies to come. But I don't understand how you can sit here after 800 to 850 million pounds of your money's been spent, and you've practically got nothing back from it. It kind of surprises me a little bit. But hey, that's just me. But listen, people may call this reactionary. People may say we're being negative. Let's look ahead to Newcastle, which I am. I want to win the cup. I do. But let's wake up and face the facts. These fans saying we're reactionary want to win the league, like we do. You genuinely think after performances like today that this isn't going to happen again? We're going to have the same squad when we play the next 5 games. We're going to have the same squad when we play the next 10 games. This will happen again. Not me being negative. It's us telling the truth, which people can't handle. It is what it is. We'll see what happens again next game. We're not going to win. We all know we're not going to win the flipping league. We're not. It's as simple as that.
And you're so right. You look at them, and this is where I get the ups. I know a lot of people are disgruntled with the Cronkies. I get that. But they have really backed this manager financially.
They have.
We have talked about this incessantly on the show with Connor, TJ, Jez. I mean, if you give any other manager that kind of money and power, you would probably start to see some success, right? The thing is that we're in the loop again of buying crap players. It comes down to recruiting. Like Connor said, you look at the list, you can start scratching off players that he's bought. Just put a line right through their name because they're just not good enough. And that's, is it Arteta doing that? Are we victims of Edu? Right? I know that he's leaving in March, like Poundland transfer sales. Exactly, Acers. It's just, we seem to find the easy way out. And this is, we overpay for crap and then we go really light on that backup, right? Sterling, Trossard. I mean, in reality, if Trossard never had a bust up with his manager, he wouldn't even be at Arsenal.
Kivior, Zinchenko, all this crap.
Right. I mean,
Jorginho.
It's the recruiting that we saw again with the latter years of Wenger. It's just, I was watching the 2015 FA Cup highlights. Sanchez, Giroud, Ramsey, Ozil. Name another one, Connor.
Walcott.
Corzola, Walcott.
Yeah, Corzola, that team was stacked.
Ramsey.
Now take those 5-6 players and overlay that on the 6 players we have now in those same positions.
Chalk and cheese.
It's chalk and cheese. Chalk and cheese. As much as we down tools Ozil and so forth, and I didn't think he was after his second season. I thought we were digressing with him, but just those names alone are levels above what we're putting out on the pitch right now. Right.
Yep.
And that's what hurts. That's what hurts me as a fan. Long time is that we see progress, but deep down, it's really regression, right? Like, second place. Oh, Mikel's getting us there. Yeah. We're up the table more. But in reality, the squad overall has regressed from even 2015. We have more marquee names in that squad than we do now.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to Newcastle. I'm not.
Me neither.
I think the home fixture will be a bit, but it's the away fixture, the second leg.
No, the home fixture. We put out the dross that we put out today. They're gonna have a field day, and even if they don't have a field day, it'll be a 1-1 or a draw, and then we have to go away to St. James Park and get a result. There's gonna be there's no fucking way that's gonna happen.
No way. No way.
No way. We're gonna go out of this cup here. We might get past Man United, but then we'll bin it in a later round for the FA Cup. Like, if United weren't so shit, I would be worried about it. But anything can happen in a one-off cup game at the same time. Right. I don't know, guys. I'm just obviously I'm disgusted with the result. I'm disgusted with the direction, and it's just not looking good. It's not looking good right now. And we have the Champions League to contend with too. Still.
Yeah, who do we got in that? I've kind of lost track.
We got Girona next, I think.
Well, that won't be easy. It'll probably be all right, but it won't be easy. Yeah, I'm not even. I know, like I said with you and Jez and Don C on Friday, I'm not even convinced of the Man United win. To be honest, it's Man United away. They could show up just this one time. Probably ain't going to happen, but they can show up this one time and knock us out.
Yep. Big up BVB Sports every time, by the way.
Big up BVB. Do you think, guys, TJ and Connor, if we play the way we played today against Man United in that FA Cup, that we'll win.
Yeah,
Even though we know their shit.
Yeah, United are so bad though.
If you ask me maybe about the cup final, I could tell you a different
Is
answer.
that? Let me ask you a question, Dal. Is it raining?
Probably.
Do you know what I said that the other night? Actually.
It's the Arsenal joke. If it's pouring down rain, you can expect an Arsenal draw or loss. We have to play when the weather's perfect, when the ball rotates a certain way and the sun's at a specific angle. Right?
People are blaming the refs again.
Talking about it for years.
They're blaming the referees again. Listen, the penalty was letter of the law. It's a pen. Realistically, it wasn't that. It wasn't intentional. He didn't mean. I don't think he even intended to headbutt him. But at the end of the day, you can't blame the referee on the fact we were shit. This is why people don't wake up. Yeah. It's excuse after excuse. They won't go and They won't go and criticize the manager. They won't go and criticize the players. You know, I genuinely walked into this game, right, with all due respect to Brighton. I said to my mates, like, yeah, 3 points. Come on, we're going to get this now. On the form we're on at the moment. Let's get 3 points and walk out. You know, they've been picking up draws and losses for the last, 6 games now, 7 games. You know, Brighton are there for the taking at the moment. Palace done them in 3-1 at their ground. Like, why can't we go ahead and do that ourselves? And then we go ahead and pull a stinker like this. And I'm not even blaming it down to the fact that Saka isn't even in the team. If Saka was here today, we still would have drawn the game, in my opinion. Because that is the level. That is the level we're at. The football is shit. We need a new way of attacking. We need something new, something fresh. Get him gone, man.
Sorry, TJ, I don't think United is that throwaway. I really don't.
I don't mean to interrupt here. I really don't mean to interrupt here, but I just got hit by 5 different people on WhatsApp and Twitter and in the chat.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, Ethan Winieri is now injured, muscle injury. People thought he was pulled off at halftime because of the yellow card. No, he was pulled off because he is now injured, and we don't know when he will be back. So the one bright spark that we have on the offensive side of the ball is now injured as well.
Whoopie do.
Yeah, I mean, it's cooked, guys. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't see who scores against Newcastle unless Newcastle just decide to not show up. But you got that huge back line of Newcastle, and you got Alexander Isak absolutely cooking, Anthony Gordon cooking. You have Bruno Guimaraes in the midfield bullying us.
Did you fellas manage to catch? I know you probably were asleep, but did you catch the Tottenham Newcastle first half?
Yeah, we caught it.
Did you see the football?
We were both watching.
Jacob Murphy out here doing flicks and tricks. What is Eddie Howe cooking? What phase is he in? What phase is Eddie Howe in? You know that is worrying. I think at the Emirates we should be able to stand our own ground, but at their ground at St James's, Isak's on form, Gordon's on form, Jacob Murphy's on the form of his life at the moment. You know, Guimaraes look fantastic, Tonali, Joe Linton. You know, they're cooking. Their defense, you know, their one weakness at the moment is probably their defense. If you put a decent attack in front of it, but it's Arsenal's attack. You really do deep it. How do we actually score this many goals? Because we watch the games and it feels like we just when it's so crazy because in the games where we always need to win, we need to win 3 points to catch up with Liverpool. We need to win 3 points to progress into the Champions League. We always bottle it. And then you look at the league table and this is why people get their excuses and say, but we scored this many goals in the Prem. Well, then where were they today? Where were they today? You know, it's mind-boggling, guys. It really is. I don't know how to explain it. Because it's the same players on the pitch. It's the exact same players, you know?
Yep. Big up Barchi, by the way. I'm seeing some old names in here and a couple of Tottenham away followers in here freaking coming in here to dance on our grave, Connor. I see them. Don't think I forgot about you guys. Don't think I forgot. I'm in there. I'm around. I'm lurking, okay? I'm there watching Still Cry, okay? Don't worry about it.
They went behind Brighton today.
You know what? We might be in the mud, but you guys are in the swamp.
They've picked up 8 points out of 30. Get out. Do me a favour and get out. Listen, I know we're stinking at the moment. 8 out of 30. Do me a favour. 10 losses out of 20. Do me a favour. Move on.
Jin, lifetime appointment. Judge asking an interesting question. He says, do you guys think the club made a mistake signing Rice instead of a top striker for that money? It's an interesting.
They made a mistake by signing Mikel Marino.
Yeah,
They made a mistake. They made a mistake.
ESR.
See, and I knew this guy. I knew this guy was in here. I knew.
Get
he was
out of
in
here!
I
Get
saw
out
him.
of here.
I
Get out
saw
of
him.
here.
This guy, Michael. Big up, Michael. No, I think, and there was a comment earlier about asking how much we had spent on what Calafiore, Moreno, and who else? I don't remember who it was. Kiwior. Kiwior. We could have bought a top striker for that money, and how is the return that we've gotten from them worth that? Nope. That's the answer.
We could have got Rice, and if we invested correctly, still got a striker. Like it's
If
not
we
the
didn't
fact
go
that you
out
got
and
Rice.
get Kai Havertz, we could have spent some of that money. That money that we spent on Calafiore and the money that we spent on Kai Havertz, we could have got out and got Caicedo.
65 and 33, I think we spent.
Bingo.
98 mil on those two players. And then we're not going to be able to sell them off, right? When we do go eventually leave the club, they'll leave on a free, or we'll get 17 mil for them, right? That's the other thing too, guys. Is like, and as much as I don't like the Cronkies being the ownership, they have given this manager plenty of freaking dough.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, when you start to look at managers like Mascara, who's now not getting results, but you look at Nuno, you start to think, well, what could Nuno do with this Arsenal squad? What ideas would he have? Because, he's in second phase at Nottingham Forest. And I've said this to Yeti too.
It's his second year. Sorry, yeah.
Second year, yeah. Second, I almost said third, Connor, but I think, it's a second.
Yeah, it's a second. Yeah.
But like, I've talked with Yeti, he just solves problems, bro. Like, they needed problems in defensive mid. They go out and get Ryan Yates. They have a problem left winger. They go get Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, these aren't names that, oh boy, that's going to, light up my FIFA team or anything. But the thing is, in the right system with the right manager, these players have produced. And maybe it hasn't looked as pretty as it should be at times. But the fact of the matter is, Chris Wood is scoring goals. That Jota guy they have. And now Forest are what? 2 points behind us still? 3 points behind us.
Yeah.
And
as much as I like cooking that B-Tech Jack looking that B-Tech Jack Grealish looking dude on Forest, he's doing a job. I mean, they're doing a job there. You can't take it away from Nuno, man. But it's one of those things where we really have to look at ourselves at this point. Like, was there a reason why Edu left? Like, and this is something that I talked about prior to this, is that when he left, is like, now you're just leaving Arteta in charge to do what in the winter transfer window, not in the January transfer window. Nothing. What are we going to do in the summer transfer window? Probably nothing. We're not linked to anybody, guys.
People have forgotten about that, by the way. It makes me laugh. Or we're going to sign some players.
Whatever.
No sporting director. Stick. Can't wait for that one to turn out right. And,
Yeah.
It blows my mind. If Arsenal want to go ahead and win the league title, with the owners, which we said, have spent money, but we're limited on funds. Bullshit, we're limited on funds. If they want to give us money, they'll give us money, Right. Chelsea are out here still spending but Chelsea spent over $1 billion. Have they had problems with that recently? No. Do me a favor. If you want to go spend money on Isak, you go spend money on Isak. If you want to win a league title, if you're that ambitious about winning trophies, you go ahead and get that business done. If you care so much about keeping your job, if you care so much about the club you played for, you get off your ass, you go tell the Cronkies, right, I need help. I know I've spent a shitload of your money and I've fucked it up majority of the time, but can I actually have a go and go buy someone world-class to help change my team? Do what Arsene Wenger done in that season when he bought Aubameyang. He had a set of balls. Listen, to be fair, he didn't sign anyone this summer. We all know Arsene Wenger was a bit stingy with signings. But at least he had the balls and said, but we can't sign big players in January. It's such a difficult window. Do me a favour. Do me an actual favour. We can go sign who the hell we want. Money talks nowadays. But FFP, but this, but that. When I tell you money talks, money talks. You put the money on the table, you can go buy Cunha. You go buy Naki Williams or Nico Williams. Pay the release clause, they will come to you. Don't be stingy. Don't buy shit and waste your money on shit, and you'll get your answers. You'll get your players. It's as simple as that. If you have a manager who has the correct head and the experience to work in a first team football club, you will understand what you're doing. This manager does not. Maresca has been there a season. He's already in top 4, possibly even chasing second behind us. They're 4 points behind us. You know, Nuno, second season, has got Nottingham Forest in a top 4 race. Let's do all ourselves a favour, wake up and realise that the whole youth project, young manager system doesn't work. I swear to God, if this guy's here next season, I don't even think I want to watch Arsenal next season because it's the same thing over and over and over again. You know, and God forbid we lost today because I'd have lost my rag even more. But do you know what? It's just inevitable. We all know what's going to happen. We won't win the league. Maybe we'll win the cup. I would love to win the cup this season. But I won't count it as a way for Arteta to keep his job because I think it's still a disgrace that he's only won 2 trophies if he wins this one in 6 years.
Nope, 3. The plates.
3, yeah. Oh, do you know what, Dow? You cheeky bastard. Because he is saying that. Only manager to go out and say, "Oh, but I won Community Shields." Yeah, right. And I won silver in my 100-meter when I was in year 5 when I was 7 years old. Oh wow, but I count that, don't I? Like, do me a favor. Like the Community Shield, really? And the second one that we qualified for is because we finished second because the team won the Premier League and the FA Cup, so we had to play it. You know, so do me a favor. It's a load of absolute tosh rubbish. I don't even know why I'm wasting my breath. Because, like, why should I give this manager a waste of my own breath at this point? Because we all know what he's going to do. We all know how he's going to act. It is what it is. It is what it is. Sorry about the rant, fellas. Apologize.
Yeah, it's just no, and well said, you know, and big up everybody inside, by the way. Make sure you smash the likes. I'm recognizing a lot of people that haven't been here before, which means we've lost or we that haven't been here before or haven't been here in a while. So make sure you guys are smashing the likes and subscribing. Yeah, last few things because I know Dal has to head out and I'm gonna go take a break before I go get cooked on Don Husam's channel. Where I don't see and put this in the comments. Maybe we can make this a little bit of a comments game. Where can we see hope? Is there hope anywhere in this squad right now? I outside of Miles Lewis Skelly, I don't see a thing. I don't see a thing. And Miles Lewis Skelly won't see the pitch. So we really have to take a really strong look at ourselves over the next couple of days and figure out if we want to take this seriously and get some silverware back to the Emirates. Because honestly, with this squad, with Ethan Nwaneri out, with Kai Havertz and Odegaard still having the sniffles and not playing up to snuff, our back line looking mad sus, Raya looking like he got his head rocked, Gabriel Jesus going out there and being as inconsistent as everybody thought they were. I just don't see it, guys. I don't see it. I see us drawing at the Emirates and losing at St. James Park and going out the cup. And then our heads are down. So we'll see what happens. Final thoughts, Dal.
Oh, God. Final thoughts today. Same old Arsenal. Just it seems like we've taken 4 steps forward and 8 steps back. And I know it's, and we didn't really deserve to win. I mean, draw that game today because, if Matoma was just a half a second earlier.
Dude, there was another chance here in the first half we didn't even talk about with what's his face on the left missed.
I look at these players. I look at players that nobody really even wanted, but we did. Havertz, Trossard, Moreno. Who was talking about him? California, who was talking about him before the Euros. And we're trying to develop players in a brand instead of winning a trophy. Like, I think Arteta would rather see Kai Havertz and Califiore with solid statistics throughout the season than lift a trophy. He would rather gauge improvement of certain players and have that improvement glorified of certain players than win a trophy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. He's looking, as he says, he's looking to develop the future of the squad. Well, the future's now. The future's now. Are we going to go on a 50-year run like Newcastle have of not lifting anything? And again, if we win the Carabao Cup, that's a big if. It's not enough. It's not enough to keep this manager in the job. And I can almost guarantee if we win nothing this season, the Sharks from Madrid are going to start circling in come June 1st, July 1st. And there will be no reason for Gabriel or Saliba to stay. What reason could you possibly give them to want to stay when Madrid, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Bayern Munich come knocking? What are you going to provide to them as reassurance that, oh, this season, if you sign now, this is the season. If you sign this now, Gabriel, this will be the season. We'll win it. I promise you'll get all the headers, right? What do we have as leverage to keep these players? Nothing. So I think you're going to see an exodus come this summer because, like Connor said, Mikel fucked up with the 800 mil. He's not going anywhere until 2028. I think they will sell those players, our good players, off before they fire this fucking donkey. And that's what scares me the most, is that we aren't giving these players another chance for another manager to get a tune out of these players. That we're going to be willing to sell them off to keep Mikel.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. And maybe I'm exaggerating. It's, again, at the end of the day, it's a draw. But we already knew we were pretty much out of the title chase. But I would tell top Gooners, it's not the draw, it's the style of play. If you can't play the game, you can't win and lift the trophies. Today, we couldn't play the game.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on. It's good seeing you guys.
Well said. Well said, Dal. Connor, anything else before we wrap up, my guy?
Big up to everyone. I hope everyone has a rest of their good rest of their weekend. Rayan, you're a fraud. Go away. Go
Loser.
Go enjoy your title race while you can, because you're going to win it anyway. Big up to SG, by the way. SG, I did see your comments earlier. Stefan, I'm actually going to be speaking to Stefan on Thursday, I think, because I spoke to Stoke.
He's still alive? That's, oh my God.
He is. I actually saw him on Charlie's stream yesterday. Actually appeared for once. So, I mean, to be fair, Mari hasn't been doing North London Azars recently, but I think Mari's going to bring it back this Thursday on Tottenham Way. So I will be there talking to Stefan.
Why? So we can all be in the mud together?
Yeah, well, actually, it depends, actually, because hopefully we win on Tuesday, and then Liverpool slap Tottenham on Wednesday. So then on Thursday, we can actually make a bit more fun of Tottenham, even though we're pretty much in a shit situation like them at the moment. Not as bad, but in terms of, we drew today. They lost, so both dropped points. But we'll wait and see. But listen, we move, I guess, to another game. I don't even care, to be honest. I swear to God, we scored that goal today. I was like, yeah, come on. But I didn't go crazy over it because, enjoy the moment, of course, enjoy the games. But at the end of the day, I know what this manager is going to do, and I'm not really going to be entertained or look forward to much under Mikel Arteta. It's sad. It's boring. There's nothing really to look forward to. I just can't get myself hyped up anymore. Of course, I'm always excited for a game for Arsenal. I'm excited to sit down and watch it, go out and watch it. I'm always excited to do that. But then really, when you do sit down and you watch other teams, like I watched Newcastle today, it's so different. You can play good football and pick up points. You don't have to play boring football. There are managers out there that can offer a good style of football. But unfortunately, I think this club and some of these fans are so hooked on this guy, like he's the Messiah, like he is Arsenal's forthcoming, like he is Arsene Wenger 2.0. That is how it feels at the moment. He's so loved and so appreciated, like he has done so much. He's brought in a couple of good players and previously made us play better football for about a year or two. But now it's gone downhill. As all things do, all things come to an end. Right. Mikel Arteta's reign will come to an end. And it will come to an end with all of us being correct and us needing apologies from all these people. But we'll wait and see. We move to the Cup. I want to win the Cup. So hopefully we can get a good result against Newcastle and hopefully, get a decent couple goals ahead of them for St. James's Park, because we're going to need it. That's going to be a tough second leg. Hopefully we bring it Tuesday. I'm not going to be able to watch, unfortunately. Probably a good thing, actually. But
fortunately.
But yeah, listen, I hope everyone has a good rest of their weekend, and don't let Arsenal ruin your weekend like I do. It's not worth it. So but big up to everyone, big up to Dal, big up to TJ, big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Big up, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to send you over to Northside, London, LDN. He is probably lighting it up, so I'm going to eat some lunch and listen to him absolutely tell the truth and berate this club. I will be live with Usam tonight, and hopefully he puts another He puts another Arsenal fan who's an Arteta inner that I can absolutely destroy on that panel. That'll be at 11 p.m. on Don Hughes Psalms channel. And then I'll be live with Staffy on Monday at 11 p.m. UK time for American Waffle, where I will get cooked there as well. Until next time, pray for us.
You don't have the answers,
Do
DJ.
you have the answer?
You don't have the answers.
Tony, do you
You
have the
You don't
answer?
have the answers.
You don't have